You're listening to Solosaurus Plays, a podcast where we play excellent solo games in narrative style for your listening and gaming pleasure, enhanced with sound effects, old-time radio style. This is episode 1. And now, here's your radio host / narrator / producer / whatever. Just get on with the story already. Michael Eckenfels.
Hi everyone, welcome to a first episode of Solosaurus Plays, a concept I had for a while now actually, and I ended up doing a separate podcast for it called The Roll of Thunder. I envisioned it to be much more dramatic than it came out to be. Well, no, I envisioned it to be dramatic, but I came out much more dramatic than I intended it to be, let's say that. It sounded like I was trying to be more of a ASMR influencer and trying to do my dramatic announcer voice, and that just didn't come across the way I really wanted it to be. So also, plus it seems silly to pay another $20 a month on top of that to have a separate podcast. And thanks to your feedback for Solosaurus, I was able to make the choice to just go ahead and fold this into Solosaurus. So besides doing the regular Solosaurus episodes, this will be called Solosaurus Plays. As you can see, it's going to be me doing solo playthroughs of games, not just board games though, RPGs, solo RPGs, which is a thing. And if you're not aware of it, you should check it out. So I'm going to dive into this one and talk a little bit about it. There will be timestamps, so you'll be able to see if you want to skip the the rules and just get right to the game. Though me talking a little bit about the rules will help me explain to you exactly how it flows, which is important, I think. So I hope you'll be along this ride with me. And again, this might be a multi-part episode thing. I'm not quite sure yet. It just depends on how it plays out. It might be I just play it for an hour or so and you get the idea and maybe you want to go buy it and check it out and give it a try yourself. It's actually, I guess I could tell you the title of it. It is called Rock Band, a solo RPG generator. Let me get to the page here online. Yeah, Rock Band, a solo RPG story generator, I should say. It's on a site called Drive-Thru RPG. That's THRU. So if you just go to Google and you search for Drive-Thru THRU RPG, you'll find the site, which is full of all kinds of cool content. Again, if you're not familiar with it, check it out. Just, see. This particular game is all about the golden era of the garage band. And we're talking about the game. The game says it could take place at any time, but it's between 1975 and 1990. Where it follows a group of people who put together a band on maybe a lark or a whim and then try to become superstars. And that's what we're going to try to do here with this game. And it's on sale right now for $2.95. So, if it's something that you think is cool, go over there and check it out. I'll put a link in the description. I think it is well worth it for, an afternoon's worth of entertainment. Even if you never go back to it again, it's well worth it, I think. So this will hopefully entertain you as well. Let's start at the beginning. And just as a side note, I did reach out to the author to make sure he's okay with me reading the content on the air, so to speak. And he's fine with it. He said, this is great. Go for it. So I'm appreciative to Bruce Whiteman, who is the designer, layout, and writer for this whole thing from a group called Past Adventures. He also has a website. I could put that on in the description if you want to check them out. He's got other content. It looks like mostly it's RPG setting kind of stuff. So if you're into that, go check it out if you'd like. He's also working on another game right now as of this recording called Bigfoot 1976. And I think it's on Kickstarter or GameFound. I can't remember which one. Let me check that really quick. It is on Kickstarter. So Bigfoot 1976 or 1976 Bigfoot. Let's click on it. Let's see exactly what it's called before 1976 Bigfoot. So go over to Kickstarter and look that up if you're interested. It's another solo RPG. It looks pretty cool and it's pretty cheap to back too. So, all right, let's talk about Rock Band. This is a pretty well organized PDF just to talk about it in general. It is, it is 64 pages, including some sources, a couple of pages that deal with other products he has and sources and credits, and then sheets that describe or gives you the ability to record content for the game. You can just copy them and or reproduce them, which is what I did. I went into Google Sheets and created my own spreadsheets to record this information so I wouldn't have to like write stuff. It's a lot easier for me to do it on the computer, especially as I'm recording this. Now, I haven't played this yet. I have read through the rules. I have a general idea. There's going to be some pauses here, but I'm going to edit those out, obviously, in post so you don't have to listen to them. And just to do the story, just to do the narrative, just to create a story here together as we go through this and give you an idea of how it works. So again, his intention is to center the concept of this book roughly on the period between 1975 and 1990. It owes a fair amount to the tropes so beautifully lampooned in Rob Reiner's hilarious This Is Spinal Tap. That's a movie from 1984. If you're not familiar with it, I'd say check it out just because it's hilarious. It really is. It's worth your time. It's intended to be played in multi-sitting story generating experience just for one person. It uses die rolling, event tables, experience points, band levels, skills, all kinds of cool stuff. So let's just get into it here. There's a bunch of stuff here. I'm not going to read through the rules verbatim for you. We'll talk about it as we go through the play. So the first thing you do is create a band. And he first talks about genres, so rock, country, funk, hip hop, etc. But you could choose one of these if you want, but it doesn't impact the game. It doesn't matter what kind of genre you choose. There's no influence. There's no different die rolls, nothing like that. It's just whatever story you want to build in your own mind. It's up to you. He talks a little bit about the genres, and he says you can even choose your own if you want. Create your own Australian bagpipe punk or Hungarian folk techno. These sound interesting to me. And me being the smart aleck that I am, I've already gone through and created the band. I've created their names. I've created their skills. I've created their roles, the name of the band, everything. So you didn't have to sit there and listen to me create the entire thing. Me being the smart aleck that I am, I chose a genre of metal, rock, indie fusion, hipcore serenity. Whatever that is, I have no idea. It doesn't matter though. It doesn't influence the game at all. It doesn't cause any benefits or penalties at all. It's whatever you want it to be. So what the heck, let's do this. It's kind of all over the place, but so too was music in 1980, which is when this story is going to start actually. Let's see. All right. So the band's made up of 3 to 5 members. I chose to do 5, and each member has 4 roles, up to 4 roles that they can have, plus 7 characteristics. The characteristics, think of them as statistics, like or stats, like from D&D, strength, intelligence, that kind of thing. But in this game, it's different. You have musicianship, which is instrumental talent, your ability to play instruments, voice, which is singing, songwriting, self-explanatory, charisma, which is showmanship and onstage presence, ego, which is confidence and sense of self, stability, which is discipline and self-control, something admittedly probably very important in a rock band, and management, which is organizational skill and leadership. Now, again, these are the ratings or characteristics the game says for each band member, and it's going to be different. So these rate from a level of 1 to a level of 5, so 1 to 5, and they are used to test certain points of events or certain things that you want to try to do. So you roll a d6 and you hope to either equal to or get lower than. If you get equal to, it usually means success, and lower than that actually is better success. And then, of course, higher is failure. You get to add, so to these 7 characteristics, you get to make 1 a rank of 4, 3 of them a rank of 3, and then 3 of them a rank of 2. Again, you're just starting out though, so there's a thing called immaturity, maturity, where 3 of these statistics are actually reduced by 1. So if you put a 4 into 1, you have to reduce it to 3, although it's a temporary thing and can increase with experience, with certain events, that kind of thing. Or when you level up, or the band levels up, you get to go in and remove one of these immaturity ratings from there. And what do I mean by that? Let me explain it a little bit more. So again, if you give a characteristic of 4 to somebody, the immaturity makes it a 3. And this is in musicianship, songwriting, and management. So no matter how talented they are, they just don't have quite the experience to really be good band members or good musicians. So those are reduced temporarily until the band levels up. And speaking to that, before I get into our band, there are actually, let me find it, 10 levels, 10 ranks to bands. They start at rank 1, which is garage band. You have barely a handful of fans. And then rank 10 is 1.5 million fans. You become legends. You have tons of success. So I guess you could call that the end goal in the game, though it's more about the narrative. And the author really kind of actually points that out specifically to say there's really no end goal. There's really no end winning conditions here. It's all about the narrative you create. So we could create a band that just absolutely falls on their face. We could create a band that has nothing but hits, but doesn't get any traction with fans. We can have a band that makes utterly terrible songs and is international stars. I don't know. It's kind of interesting how this all develops. And there's terrible songs out there, in your opinion, in my opinion as well, that should not be hits. They are. That's just the way it goes. It's just the way the music industry is. So let's go into our band now. Let's talk about what I created. So I went with, and of course, remember, my sense of humor is weird. If you know me, you know what I'm capable of. So be prepared. I chose to go with 5 members of this band. Again, you can do 3 to 5. It's up to you, totally. And each of these, as I said, has 4 roles, up to 4 roles. And these roles can be playing a certain instrument, being a vocalist, being a songwriter, being a manager, any of this kind of stuff. There's all kinds of different roles you can have. And then you have the 7 characteristics. Let's talk about each of our guys, or each of our band members, I should say. They're not all guys. The first one... The first one is named Leo Jernskieg, and that's a very Scandinavian sounding name, and that's what I envisioned. So before I get into that, let me say, I wasn't sure where to start with this, so I went with an AI chat program, and I can't remember which one. It might have been Bing. I can't remember. I don't want to promote one over the other or anything like that, but you go in to an AI chat and you can tell it generate an image of whatever, and it will generate the image, and it's so good, which scares the utter living you-know-what out of me, because I'm a creative person and I do a lot of graphic design, and I'm just, oh my gosh, this would have taken me days to create. Anyway, it's it's kind of amazing how it does that. So I would just visualize in my head what I wanted, like a lead guitarist, vocalist kind of a thing, playing a certain instrument, and it would generate the character look. And I was like, that's exactly what I want. And I would create the description based on that. Again, it's not part of this RPG. That's just something I did on my own to help me generate the story. So there we go. So Leo Jernskieg is my description is stereotypical Norwegian long-haired lead guitar god. At least in his mind, I suppose. He's just, he's the lead singer. He's the lead guitarist. He is the front man for the band, I believe. That could change, though, in this game. You can have band members leave. They can expire, as the game says. All kinds of different things can happen. So let's see where we go with this. He might change. He might not be the lead singer anymore. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Number 2 is, and I'm not sure I'm going to say this right, but Loki O'Henry. Not Loki, L-O-K-I, but Lochi, like Loch in Scotland. And if you think you know where I'm going with this, maybe you do. This is our metal bagpipe player. Yes, I said metal bagpipes. I think I just had this in my mind to just create the most random band possible, the widespread type of band of different instruments and different music types and different things. Just this amalgamation, not like Asia the supergroup. That's an old joke. If you don't know Asia, go look them up on YouTube. Asia, Wildest Dreams, really good song. Anyway, Loki O'Henry. I probably should just call him Lucky instead of Lochi. I'm trying to do that part of the Scottish name, but I might slip between the two. Forgive me in advance. Our third member is Dee Jones. It's just the letter D, not D-E-E, but she is our bass player. Then we have Rivera Atlas, who is our drums player, and Shreya Lalana, who is our rhythm sitar player. I think I remember looking up a exotic instrument player, just exotic, as in, not a normal instrument that you would see in an 80s band. Although, come to think of it, there was a lot of weird stuff in the early 80s. So, weird as in, not seen before, kind of odd thing. Not in Western music anyway. So, but I thought, you know what? Let's do it. That sounds good. So Leo is again, I'll talk about the roles here really quick. Leo's roles are electric guitar player first. I don't think the ranks matter. I don't think that the role 1 matters over role 2. It's just the roles that they have. So he's electric guitar player. There we go. Sorry, stumbling. Role 2 is vocals, and role 3 is songwriter. I think this helps you visualize the character when you're going through it, so that when you get to the characteristics and you're assigning numbers, you have, oh, this is the songwriter, this is the guitar player, this kind of thing. You can assign the different statistics appropriately. And I did try to design a band that complements each other, so hopefully that works. Loki is our metal bagpipe player, as I said, and cello player. He is old but knows how to rock on old school instruments. So his musicianship is pretty high, but I had to knock it down a peg because they're new. So I have 2 other instruments, but I'm going to get to those later when we unlock them. Hopefully we get to that level. D Jones is our bass player, as I said, electric bass, also a songwriter and vocals. Then Rivera Atlas. I just love that name. She's the drum player. She is also a manager. We need somebody with some kind of managerial experience, and I think she has that. She's also vocals and a songwriter. And then Shreya Lalana is, as I said, the sitar player. There's another instrument, but her musicianship was knocked down a peg, so she's not well versed with it yet. And then she's also vocals. So there you go. Now let's talk about their characteristics. This will give you kind of an idea of where our strengths and weaknesses are. But instead of talking about them with each person, I'm going to talk about each category. So musicianship first. I signed Loki with a 4. He's the strongest musician because that's all he does is musicianship. He doesn't sing. He doesn't do anything else. He's just the player. He just has a stage presence. But that's a 4 knocked down to 3 because of the immaturity factor. As for the others, they're all 3s. Every musicianship 3, but again, these are knocked down to 2 because of the immaturity factor. So they have some place to go. They're not the best musicians, although Loki's pretty good just because he's been around. In my mind, the others are, see, a 1 in musicianship. The way I'm envisioning it is Bill and Ted from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. If you remember that movie, the first scene where they're just wailing away on the instruments and they have no idea what they're doing and they sound horrible. That's a 1, I think. 2 is just a little bit better. So they might know a chord or 2, but maybe 40% of the time get it right. I don't know. When they get to 3s, though, that will be much better. And I think that'll be a level that I'm going to focus on. So hopefully it doesn't deter us too much from growth and getting more fans. For vocals, or voice rather, I should say. I keep calling it vocals, but you get the idea. It's the singing voice. The 4 in this category, or the person that I assigned a 4 to here is Leo, of course, because he's the front man. He's going to have the voice of Ambrosia, so to speak. He's going to be the lead singer. He's going to be awesome in that regard, hopefully. So he is a 4. Rivera and Shreya are 3s, and then we have Loki and D are both 2s. Singing is not their strong suit, but again, I had to make choices as to who. Not everybody can be amazing singers. Not everybody can be amazing songwriters. You have to do give and take as you create these characters. So it's not a statement one way or another on any of these guys. So as to songwriting, this is another characteristic that is affected by immaturity. The strongest is D. She has a 4 that I assigned, but that's knocked down to 3. Both Leo and Rivera have a 3 in songwriting as well, but that's knocked down to 2. And then Shreya and Loki are both 2s, but knocked down to 1. So they might be able to scribble a limerick or 2 on the back of their notebooks. I don't know. But that's that. We're okay in that regard. We have a pretty good songwriter in D. Leo's not too bad himself. And then the others are just, or Rivera's not too bad herself either. And then Shreya and Loki are just kind of there for songwriting. Charisma, I think I said that's on-stage presence. We have a 4, which is Shreya. She is amazing on stage, so she has a great presence on stage. And I thought, playing the sitar, that's really going to be the center of attention if we ever do a gig or a concert. She's going to be it. And then 3s for Leo, Loki, and D. They have a pretty good charisma themselves. And then Rivera is a 2. I didn't want to assign her a 2, but I had to just because, you got to assign a 2 somewhere. So, and I wanted, again, to have different strengths for different characters. So ego, the sense of self, the sense of self-confidence, that kind of a thing. We're a little light in this department. 3 is Loki. He's definitely got an ego. He loves playing and he's on stage and loves to be the center of attention in that regard. The others are 2s. Which is not great, I know, but I think we can grow this. So I think we might be able to get these added to as we go through. They're not all the most confident individuals, but again, they're just starting out. It's a new band and They think they know what they want. They think they know they want to do this, but they're just not quite sure of themselves yet. Hopefully this will change as the narrative progresses. Stamina is not bad. 3 of the characters have a 3 and 2 of them have a 2. The 3s are Loki, Dee, and Shreya. The 2s are Rivera and Leo. And then management is by far the average weakest category across the board. I did put Rivera at a 4. Again, she has manager as one of her roles. As that's what I envisioned, as her being the business mind of the band. But that's knocked down to a 3 because of the immaturity factor. The others are all 2s, knocked down to 1. So they have absolutely no clue what to do or how to handle money. And speaking of that, money is not a consideration in the game. It's kind of generically baked in, so it's not like we're going for riches and we're going to be paid and be able to spend money on new instruments, that kind of a thing. It doesn't go that far down the rabbit hole. It needs to. You can imagine doing something like that. It's gonna make this not 64 pages, but probably 300. Which might not be a bad idea for some people, but it just is what it is. So money is not really an issue here. All right, so that is our band. Let's go back to the book now and talk about other things. There's one thing in this that we can do. There's an optional rule for character creation, and I haven't done that yet, is to some people really are more or less talented than others. If you wish, roll for each band member 2d6. On a roll of 9 or 11, you can add 1 rank to any characteristic. And on a roll of 12, you can add 1 rank to 2 characteristics. But on a roll of 2 to 5, you have to reduce 1 rank of any characteristic. Now, any characteristic cannot be lowered below 1 and can't be increased above 5. So there's that, at least. I'm tempted, just because I really want these guys to have better skills, and there's some that can probably do better at some of these levels. I mean, we want a good, successful rock band. So I think I'm going to take a chance and do this for everybody. So we roll this 2d6 once for each person. So let's start with Leo. Let's roll and see what we get. I got an 8, which is just below the 9. Almost. Leo didn't quite make it there. So, all right, let's go with Loki. I got a 9. Oh, cool. Okay, so he gets to increase 1 of his levels. Now, he's 3s on charisma, ego, and stamina. 2 on vocals, but he's not really a vocalist. 1 or 2 on songwriting, but he's not really a songwriter. So I guess I could probably do that in musicianship. I think I'll do that. So his 5. So he, instead of a 3-4, he's now a 4-5. So his musicianship is technically a 4, but it can be a 5. So this guy is an amazing musician. Potentially. That'll be great for the band. All right, so let's go with D now. Whew, I'm scared of getting like a 3. That's a 10. Okay, cool. So she... wow, that's amazing. I'm surprised I'm not rolling snake eyes across the board here. So with her, that's 1 level I can raise her up somewhere. And I'm thinking vocals maybe, just because it's a 2, or musicianship, because she is the bass player, and that is an important instrument. Well, they're all important, actually. But in this particular case, she also has a 2 in ego. I think, oh man, that's hard. I'd rather have 2 ranks. I wish I rolled boxcars, a 12. Then I can really do both of those things. But you know what? I'm going to increase her musicianship from 2-3 to 3-4. So she's technically a 3 musicianship, but she will get a 4 when she gets out of that immaturity level. Okay, so Rivera, let's go with her. Sorry, that's a 12. I got a 12. Okay, good deal. I got her at 12. I'm excited about that. That's good. She's the drummer, and she has a musicianship of 2-3, which isn't great. But she also has 2s in charisma, ego, and stamina, which I don't like. So I'm going to go with musicianship. I'm going to change that to 3-4. So she's technically a 3, but can grow to a 4. So she's a better drummer now. Oh, thank goodness. Don't know if I want to do charisma, ego, or stamina. Or do I want to raise her management up to 5? See, the thing is, we can get a professional manager to represent the band at rank 4 or 5. I can't remember. One of the 2. She will act as the manager before that happens. Of course, the manager we get could be worse than her. I don't know. We don't always have to have them. I don't think. I don't know. We'll get to that point when we get there. So charisma, ego, or stamina. I'm going to raise her stamina to 3, actually. Well, Ego, I should probably raise to 3. I don't know. This is so hard. Her charisma is the lowest in the band, which is unusual because I really like the AI art that generated for her. It's really cool. I actually downloaded all the images. I wish I could share them and show you. Since there's no copyright worry, at least at this time, or that kind of thing that I know of. I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't know the game. I haven't played it, so I don't know what's going to affect it. So let's just go with stamina. I'll increase her up to 3 because it seems to me a good drummer should have a pretty decent stamina. So there we go. All right, cool. So let's go with Shreya now. I think I'm about due for a bad roll. I hope not. Oh, wow. Okay, that's a 9. So she gets 1 level too. Wow. All right, so... Okay, so her songwriting is 1/2. She's not a songwriter, though, in the group. She doesn't deal with that, so that's okay. Her charisma is 4. I could raise that to a 5. You know, I should probably reinforce success, right? Which I kind of did with some of these musicianships. I think I'll do that. I have no idea how this is going to affect the game, so I'll raise her charisma from a 4 to a 5. That's awesome. Okay, good. There we go. So that's the optional. We actually got really lucky and didn't roll badly there. I could just see myself rolling 1s and 3s and just having this group playing on toy instruments for kids. Being awful. Might as well be anyway. Okay, so as I said before, band members can come and go. Different things happen, different events. We'll get into that when we get there. We can hire a manager later. There's one thing more that I want to discuss here at this point. There is a certain assumption of lifestyle when it comes to rock and roll. And I think you know what I mean, especially when it comes to the 80s. Now, the game doesn't really touch on that. There might be some events that allude to that, and I'm not going to go down that road, or I might just reread it in a certain way. I don't know how it goes, but the game does say specifically that it doesn't make any assumptions about gender or identity or characters in the story, but there are events that could happen where two bandmates get into a relationship. I don't know. It can happen. So it doesn't really make that a centerpiece of the game, even though it's huge, obviously, from the 80s. So we're going to be very careful about that and not go down that road, I think. So let's talk about band ranks. Again, as I said, the 10th rank is the highest rank you can get to. You start at 1, where you have a handful of fans and your description is garage band. So you want to obviously rank up. You do that by getting fans, which you get by performing gigs, creating hit songs, that kind of a thing, recording albums, going on tour, which can't happen at this stage. There's certain events we can do each turn, or certain actions, I should say, and I'll get into that here momentarily, but there's also prerequisites for each rank. So for the next rank, rank 2, we need to have 10 fans and know 6 songs. Right now we know no songs, 0, absolutely none. But we'll become a neighborhood band, so we'll kind of gain a little bit of popularity in that regard. So let's get to the story now. So each turn is 1 month in length. We're starting in June of 1980. So June will be our first turn. You first roll for an event, then you choose one action to do for the month. You earn fans if you have recording sales. We won't have to worry about that early on. Then you suffer fan attrition, but that doesn't occur for the first 6 months of your band as your rank 1. If we get to rank 2 in the first 6 months, then we will have to worry about it at that point. But for rank 1, for right now, for 6 months, we are safe, because fan attrition roll can actually destroy you, because a band that drops below 0 fans will break up. And then there's certain levels too, like at rank 5, if you drop below 150 fans, you break up. So that's essentially a game ender. But if you get enough fans at the end of the month to increase to the next rank, and you've met all the prerequisites, then boom, you go up to the next rank. And then with that first rank that we get, when we get to rank 2, again, we can go in and remove those immature ratings and raise them up for those 3, for any of those 3 for each character. So, okay, sorry. We can just go ahead and jump in. Oh, actually, let me talk about actions really quick. So for actions, we can rehearse, which is learning to play songs. We can look for gigs, but we can't do that yet because we need to know at least 6 songs to do that. Obviously, you need to know songs to go do performances. We can write original songs, which is a possibility. But then there's 2 others we can't do right now. One is record, which we need to be rank 3, and tour, which is rank 5. So we can't do either of those yet. So obviously the focus is going to be learning songs, because we need 6 in order to go to rank 2. So let's see here. We're in June of 1980. And we start with a certain number of fans, and that's a 2d6 roll. So let's see. 7. Okay, that's not too bad. That's our parents, I believe. I envision these guys as being just out of high school. So, all right. So we have 7 whole fans. That's not too bad. Not all the parents, maybe, who knows. Some of them are just so sad that we're not going to college and making something of ourselves or becoming ditch diggers or something like that. But the world needs ditch diggers too, as the line from Caddyshack goes. So, but let's see, because we want to be successful band performers. So let's go to the event chart. Let's do our first ever event. There's 2 different tables. There's one for rank 1 to 3 and then another for rank 4 plus. So there might be repetition in here, so I apologize in advance for that, but I think they're generic enough that they're not exactly, and you can just kind of interpret the results. So at least that's what I'm hoping. So first roll is a 6. So there will be an event, because if you roll a 7 or an 8 on your first roll, there's no event. So that's a 6. There's an event with a 6. So that's a... All right. Let It All Out affects 2 band members with conflict status. We don't have any band members with conflict status. And this is all about 2 members of the band getting into a verbal altercation over something. So we're not going to go into this because this doesn't affect us. We don't have conflict, at least not right now. This might still be something that happens in a little bit. So with our action, we can learn songs or write songs. So learning songs is like being doing a cover thing. So you're covering songs that exist already. I'm okay with doing that as far as real world songs from, say, 1980. That would be interesting to go look up. But I think instead I would make them up. And there's actually a table in the book that'll let you make up song names. So that's kind of cool. I think for purposes of, if we're going to do a cover, then I'm going to go ahead and look up real world songs. But writing songs, which is, I think, the cool part of it, I want to write my own songs, and it really gives you more of a creative feel to the game, like you're really creating something. So to write songs, we have to make rolls, and we would roll against the relative songwriting rating. So let's look at our band again. Our songwriter is, of course, D. She's got a 3-4. She's at a 3 right now. We can get somebody to assist her who has a songwriting skill of at least that number or lower. Actually, if it's 1 lower, then she gets a +1. So both Rivera and Leo are good at that. Any more than that, it really doesn't it doesn't improve it any further. You can have more people collaborate to write a song, but it's going to just use the highest songwriting skill. So I think there's a good sweet spot right there where you have 2 people. So for this particular song, let's go to our song sheet, and let's say the author here is going to be D. Jones and Leo. So they're going to write a song. We need to roll against her songwriting skill and +1. So her songwriting skill again is a 3. Leo's is a 2. So that's a +1 to her. So it makes it a 4. She's normally a 4 in songwriting, but again, this is the immaturity thing going. So 4 -1 to 3, and then him +1 back to 4. So we need to roll a die. Let's just roll and see what we get. A 2. Cool. Okay, so the 2 is lower than the songwriting score, which means we write a number of original songs equal to the highest songwriting rating, which is 4. So we get to write 4 original songs and learn one of them automatically. So just because you write all 4 of them doesn't mean you learn them all immediately. And like I said, you need 6 in order to get to the next level as one of the prerequisites. So that's interesting. Let's go to the song title page and generate some song names. This is kind of the cool part too. So the song title generator has one table where you roll to get nouns, adjectives, present participles, anyway, there's a whole table. I can't even talk. There's one table where you roll 1d6, and let's just do it. Okay, so inverb the noun. Okay, so what inverb? Oh, okay, so inverb here. Let's roll, and I'll tell you what that is. That is to beat. Inverb to beat. All right, so I feel like that song is called To Beat, and then the second part is a noun. So we roll again to see, and this can be bad actually. Hopefully not too untoward sounding. 6 and a 2. Blues. To beat blues. Okay. To beat blues. is our first song. We're going to put June 1980 as learned. It is not a cover. We'll see what the song score is now. So that's the next thing to determine is how good of a song it really is or isn't. It could be terrible. Let's see here. So a song score is ranging from 3 to 20. 3 is terrible. To me, that's What Did the Fox Say? Or Barbie Girl. 20 is, I don't want to deride songs. I mean, if you love those songs, great. I don't mean to do that. I really don't. I'm just joking around. But 3 is terrible in general. Nobody likes it. 20 is fantastic. Everybody loves it. 20 is probably like Wild Stallions level, where they bring peace to the world kind of a thing. Again, another Bill and Ted reference. So we will roll 2d6, add the modified songwriting rating, which is 4, and any modifiers, which there are none that I'm aware of. And this will get an average song score of 9 to 11. So if we do better than that, great. If not, we're going to be having a terrible first song. I got a 9. So that's a 13. That's pretty good for a first song. Score is 13. There we go. Now let me see. One original song is automatically learned at the month it is written. The songwriting attempt could fail. If it did, we would at least be able to rehearse or look for gigs, but we can't look for gigs again. But we think we get at least one song out of it. Well, I'll figure that out if we get to failure. We've got 3 other songs now to generate because we've got 4 new ones. So let's see what else we get. All right, so 3, which is present participle to place. So let me roll. So 6-3, that is driving. So the first word is driving. And to place, which is going to be, let's see, 5. The stars. Driving to the stars. Oh, that sounds so very Arcade Fire or... Oh, I wasn't saying who wrote it. I guess we'll do G. Jones and Leo again. I think I might change it up a little bit just to give other people a chance. So, all right, so that is our next song. Let's see how strong it is. We roll 2 dice and add our 4 to it. Not our best song. I rolled a 3, which plus 4 is 7, so that's less than average. That is not a good song. That probably won't be a hit. But then again, you never know in this game. It could be that the worst song becomes a hit. Driving to the Stars. I can only imagine what the Pitchfork Media review of that would be. All right, we got 2 more songs. Let's see what we have. We have 2 more songs. Not guy. Okay. Oh, this is going to be a long one. All right. All right. Long one. I rolled a 6. So that's present participle for the adjective noun. So first, present participle. This is so cool. I love doing this. I hope you're interested in seeing how this comes out. 3, 5. So that's striving. Striving is the first word. All right. Second word is going to be an adjective. So let's roll that. 4, 6, which is tattered. And then the final word is a noun. So let's roll for that. 2, 1, girl. Striving, tattered girl. That sounds interesting. I guess I can add determinants to that or other words if I wanted to, like striving the tattered girl or striving to the tattered girl or something like that. But let's just go with striving, tattered girl. That sounds kind of cool. This one, let's say, let's do another. Let's do G. Jones, of course, but let's do Rivera this time. Hopefully it's a better song than the last one. D. Jones and Rivera A. All right, that is June of 1980. Again, it is not a cover song, and let's see what the score is. 7 plus 4 is 11. That's on the high end of average. That's not too bad. I'll take it. All right, one more song. Thank you for sticking with me in this. I hope you're, again, as invested in this as I am. I think this is awesome. 3, whoops. I should roll for the first one. All right, so that is PPAR 1, present participle 1 to place. So there we go. I got a 3 and a 6 before, so that's ragged to place. Ragged to, and what's the name? 6-3, which is Revelation. Ragged to Revelation. That sounds very metal. Let's say D. Jones and Rivera Atlas do that one as well. That's June 1980. It is not a cover. Let's see what our song score is. All right. Hopefully it's good. 9. Cool. So that's a 13. So that's almost on par with To Beat Blues. All right. There we go. 13. What's next? Let's see what's next. All right. So we've written 4 original songs, and I should make a mark here whether we've actually learned it. So I think I'll go with Ragged to Revelation, just as our first really cool song here as that we have learned. So we have 1 song learned in June of 1980, and we have 3 others that are not bad, not great to really good or decent for a new band. So there we go. I was looking to see if we get new fans. I think we only get new fans from gigs. So I don't see it in the turn play listing here. There is earn fans from recording sales. We don't get any of those. We would get them from look for gigs. If we got a gig, then we would play it, and hopefully it would be successful in that regard. We're not going to do that. That's not applicable here. Earn fans from recording sales. That doesn't happen. Suffer fan attrition. Again, that doesn't happen. It's the first month, so we don't have to worry about that until almost Christmas, I guess. That'd be a great time of the year, right? To not move forward and break up. Anyway. All right. So that's the end of the month then. Now we're going to July of not 1870, but 1980. We are still level 1. We still have 7 fans. All right. So now we'll roll for events. Let's see what happens here for our events. All right. So we have an event called Here Comes the Regulars. Affects the entire band. Ignore this event if band has not performed a successful club gig, including open mic gigs. Okay, so I'm going to ignore it. I'm not going to read it through because I don't want to spoil anything. So nothing happens really technically this month, which is great, I guess. I mean, I guess there's some good events and some bad ones. There's some really terrible ones. I've read a couple of them accidentally here, and I'm like, oh, hope that doesn't ever happen. But that's pretty par for the course when it comes to being a rock band, I guess. All right, so choose one action for the month. I can learn songs or rehearse, actually. So we can choose the rehearse action, which means we would learn songs. So we would roll to see how many we've learned, and this could be the 3 other original songs that we have, just to get them down. And it can also mean we would learn cover songs too, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. Maybe we should just go ahead and do that. Let's do rehearse. So we have to roll against our manager, which is a 3. That's Rivera Atlas, our drummer. Her arrangement is 3. We have to roll and see and hope that we get lower than a 3. I rolled a 2. Perfect. The one time I want to roll low, and I roll low. Good. If the roll is less than the management score, the band learns a number of songs equal to the rank, which is 3, plus the best musicianship characteristic of one of the band members, which is 4 for Loki. So wow, that's 7 songs we get to learn. We get to learn all 3 of our originals, so I'm going to mark that as appropriate there. And that'll mean we get 4 more. So let me pause this here and go ahead and look up some 1980s songs and see what covers we do. All right, so I am back after going through some of the songs from the Billboard Top 100 for 1980 to see what I think the best songs would be. This whole Google Sheets thing isn't working out for me too well, but I'll just keep going. And somehow I hit a combination of keys that added some random conditional formatting, and no help article anywhere helps. There's like 4 different answers on how to remove it, and none of it's doing anything. I'm so frustrated right now, but we're just going to focus on the game. I've added 4 cover songs now to our repertoire, and all 4 have been learned because of our successful roll. So we are going to have some good songs here. Now, these are actually rated by song scores as well. That the existing song, of course, is a hit, but does that mean the cover is a hit? Could mean we put our own interpretation on it and it's terrible, or it could be really good. But we actually got some decent rolls here. So let me tell you what these songs are. And if you're not familiar with them, go look them up. I thought this would be kind of funny to an extent. Some of them are not the best songs in my mind, but I thought this would be a great cover song for a band that's trying to be serious. So The first is All Out of Love by Air Supply. Learned it, got a song score of 14, which is really good. Then the next one is Fame by Irene Cara. That's awesome. Got a 15 on that one, which is a great song. I mean, it's a good movie too. So then Ride Like the Wind by Christopher Cross. Got an 11 on that. So average, not bad. And then finally Pop Music by M. Oh God, that song. That brings back memories. But anyway, that's an 11 we got on that one. So not too bad. We have 5 songs now in our repertoire, one more, and we can start doing gigs. So I don't think we're going to be able to do that until the month following. So we're in good shape to not have to worry about losing fans. Of course, we haven't gained any either. So we don't gain any fans. We don't lose any from attrition because we're only in our second month. And we're going to continue onward now. So let's go to August of 1980. August of 1980. We are going to roll for an event. Let's see what happens. Better to burn out than to fade away. Affects entire band. Ignore this event for bands that are rank 8 or above, or any band that has recorded a hit song in the past year. Well, that doesn't apply to us, so we're going to move forward with it. A sense of stasis can be disheartening. If the band has not leveled up to a new rank for the first time over the past year, every band member must make a stamina roll to remain in the band. So I guess this could be interpreted as not affecting us because we've not been around for a year. We've only been around for 2 months. So I can imagine that we'd just be, okay, we're done. We're not becoming famous. That 2 months and we haven't even gotten in front of people yet. Come on, I don't think this applies. So I'm going to ignore this event. It might be cheesy, but it's my game. I'll do what I want. So I do what I want. Anyway, let's see. We can now rehearse, write original songs. I think I might rehearse again. Actually, that really covered us well. I could write original songs because we'll learn one automatically, and then that'll be the one we need to get to the next level. Do I want to pad it a little bit? Let's look at the requirements for level 3 just to see what we would need to do. Okay, so level 3, we would need to know 12 songs and have a club gig, a successful club gig. Even an unpaid open mic appearance would work as well as winning the Battle of the Bands, which I assume is an event that can happen or some other thing that can happen down the road. So it might be good to pad our repertoire with additional new songs. So let's do that. I think it's better to see kind of a balance here where you're trying to decide how many songs we know versus how many we write or have in our repertoire. We might have a lot of songs in our repertoire, but we don't know how to play them or haven't practiced them. So let's go ahead and write original songs for this one. Okay, so we need to go to our songwriting gurus here, which is going to be, again, D, who has a 3, and then we'll go to Leo or Rivera, which really doesn't matter which one. 2s, we'll give her a +1, so that's a 4. Let's roll and see what we get. I got a 3, so 1 under 4 means we get, we get a number of songs equal to the best songwriter's unmodified songwriting rating. Again, that's a 3. I know unmodified means the immature or mature levels, but we're just going to go with the 3. The additional songs may be written. I think I might have messed that up in the original. When we did this last time, I might have done 4 instead of 3. I think it's supposed to be 3. Oh well, we'll keep 4. But this case, we'll do 3, so which is just enough that we need to do. So let's go and create 3 new songs. Let's see what we can come up with. All right, so the first song is going to be present participle 2 for noun, I guess. Let's see what we get. So first roll, second roll. We have singing is the first word. Singing for the noun. Let's see what the noun is. Girl. Singing for girl. Okay, why not? Singing for girl is our next song. We'll say that's by D. Jones and Rivera A. And that is August 1980. Let's see what our song score is for this little original hit. That's a 7 plus 4 is 11, so that's not too bad. All right, next we have a 2, which is adjective noun. So let's see, this is a little more simpler. 1, 5 is sweet. And the noun, so sweet something. What's the noun going to, What's the noun going to be? What is the noun going to be? 3 is Moon, Sweet Moon. Okay, Sweet Moon. Sounds fantastic. We'll say D. Jones and Leo recorded that one, August 1980. Let's see what the song score is. Ooh, 9. 9 plus 4 is 13. That's not too bad. We're doing some pretty decent songs here. One more song to generate. That is going to be, oh boy, it's going to be the long one. P par 2 for the adjective noun. Present participle 1-5. That is burning. So the first is burning for the. Then we do an adjective and then a noun. So the adjective is yellow. Burning for the yellow. And then the noun is going to be, truth. Burning for the yellow truth. Okay. Why not? Let's say G. Jones and Leo recorded that one as well. August 1980. All right. Now, song score on this one. Let's roll well. 10. Dang, that's good. All right. So that's 10 plus 4 is 14. Boom. All right. So we recorded, or not recorded, we wrote 3 new songs. One of them we have to learn. And I think I'm going to go with Burning for the Yellow Truth just because we got a 14 on that one. That's by far our best song. Sweet Moon and Singing for Girl. So those are all pretty decent. So we've got a decent repertoire now. We have 6 songs learned. We have a total of 11 in our bank. So that's good. All right. So we have done fairly well here. It's the 3rd month and we have our 6 songs. So we can prepare to gig next month. That'll be good. We'll get our first gig in and I think I might end the episode there to see, because I think we're about at an hour now. I've got some editing to do, but I believe it'll be about an hour. So let's do one more turn and see where we go. All right, so now it is September of 1980. We'll roll for events. Let's see what our event is. Hopefully nothing terrible. I rolled a 7, so there's no unusual event this month. So good. All right, so our action is going to be look for gigs. So let's see what we need to do. Available gigs depend on the rank of the band. Roll 1d6. If the roll is equal to the manager's management score, the band plays a number of gigs equal to the band rank, which would be 1 in this case. If the roll is less than the manager's management score, the band plays a number of gigs equal to the manager's management score plus band rank to a maximum of 8 gigs. That's pretty decent. A gig roll that misses by 1, for example, a roll of 4 for a management 3, allows just a single gig to be played. A roll of 6 always results in no gigs, even with a management of 5, though. So bands that look for gigs but fail due to the management role may rehearse and learn 1 song or attempt to write a single song instead. All right, so our manager is Rivera. Oh gosh, I got conditional formatting all over this too. Ugh, I'm going to have to recreate these if I do another episode. This is going to drive me nuts, or just write it out. All right, silly Google Sheets drives me crazy. All right, so Rivera's management is 3, so I need to roll a 3 at least to get 1 gig, I believe it is. Yeah, so I need to roll a 3. If I do, we get to do a number of gigs equal to our rank, which is 1. We get to do 1 gig. If I roll lower, then we get to do 3 gigs. So that'll be interesting. Let's try to get lower. Let's get a 1 or a 2, please. The one time I want to get a 1 or a 2. I got a 1. Awesome. All right. Well, 1's not bad, I guess. A 1 means we get... Oh, no, we get 4. We get 4 gigs because it's equal to the manager's management score, which in this case is 3, her immature roll. Normally it's 4, but again, minus 1. So 3 plus 1, 4. 4 gigs. All right, cool. Okay, 4 gigs. Rank 1 garage bands. The venue of the gig is mostly for story purposes only, except as indicated in the tables. So for each gig, I will roll on the appropriate table according to the band rank, and bands for the manager of management 4 or 5 or hits. No, that doesn't apply to us, so we'll have to worry about that. All right, so let's do our first gig. Hey. Private party unpaid. All right, so private party unpaid. Now we have to see if it's successful or not. So we resolve it. The outcome, roll 1d6 against the band members with the best musicianship or vocal score, and by rolling 1d6 against the band member with the best charisma score. If both rolls succeed, the gig is a success. Okay, so we go to our band. We have the best musicianship as being lucky. he has a 4. And then, of course, our best charisma is Shreya with a 5. So our odds are really good here. So let's see. Loki will roll him. We get a 1. Thank goodness, that is well below his 4. So we succeed big time there. And then Shreya, we're about due for a failure, aren't we? No, we're not. We got a 5. Ooh, okay. Just barely succeeded. So, successful gig. Let's roll. Let's write that down. I don't want to forget that was successful. Every gig that is a success or failure may also trigger a gig event roll, which is what? Okay, rank 1. No, I didn't realize this was here. Rank 1 to 2 successful gig events. Cool. Okay, well, let's see what happens for a successful unpaid little action here. Whoops, that's a... let's see, that's a 7. No unusual event. Okay, so nothing happens in that successful gig. Nothing in... That's like the event table that we roll at the beginning of the turn. So that's kind of cool. I did not see that in the rules. That's awesome. All right, so let's go back. Let's do our next gig. So that's successful. That's good. We need that. Next gig is going to be local event in the park, unpaid. So I think these are all unpaid. Yeah, they're all unpaid at rank 1. So I think we gain fans too. Fan gain. Sorry, I didn't do that for the first gig. So we get a number of fans increasing because of our successful first gig, which is a 2d6 roll. So that is 6. So we now have 13 fans. Woo! We're well on our way. All right, so now we got to go to our other gig, which is the local event in the park, and see if that is successful. So we need to roll again against Loki's musicianship, which is a 4. I got a 5, which is failure. Okay, so I guess he managed to make the metal bagpipe sound like a duck or something, and... We failed that game. That is a failure. That stinks. But I think we still need to roll for a event. So, we actually lose fans too. Crud. All right. Well, let's look at the failed gig event. Let's see. Let's hope we roll a 7 or an 8. I got a 7. Thank goodness. All right. So no bad events happen there, but we lose 26 fans. 6. We're back down to 7. We had a successful band, and then some other people said, hey, you got to come see this band, and we just blew it completely. So we lost all the fans we just gained. But not too bad. We still have 2 more gigs to play. Hopefully we can pull it out here. Oh, man. Okay, local or high school talent show. So let's say local talent show. Let's hope for success this time. Let's try Loki's musicianship. Got a 3, so that's successful. And then Shreya's charisma, 4, that is successful. So a successful gig. So now we will roll and hope that we get a number of good fans here. 10, that's good. All right, so now we're up to 17 fans. Good deal. I don't know why I keep laughing. This is so funny. All right, let's go and see the event roll. Here we go. All right, so let's see if we get an event. I got a 3, so we're going to get an event for a successful roll, or for a successful gig. It's 3, 2 is a G3, which is fought the law and the law won. Affects entire band. This sounds scary. The concert is too loud or unruly in some way, and the cops show up halfway through, bringing the show to an early end. Due to some damage to the band's reputation, no additional gigs for the remainder of this month and next month. So we can't do gigs next month. The band gains 2d6 times 2 times rank fans, though, due to the positive reception in the counterculture community. Right. I rolled a 9. That's good. 9 times 2 is 18 times rank is 1, so that's 18 new fans. So, wow, we have gone up to, I'm terrible at math, 35. 35 fans. That's, I guess, good to get the notoriety there. So we have done well there. Okay, so we can't do our final 4th gig, but that's okay. And we can't gig next month, which is okay because I think we're good as far as fans are concerned. So we earn fans from recording sales. We don't do that because we don't have recording. Suffer fan attrition for any month in which the fan does not, or the band does not increase it to a new rank, perform gigs, or tour We did the gigs, so we don't have to worry about fan attrition. Good. But we do, I believe, have enough fans to increase to the next rank, and we've met the prerequisites for that rank. So let's see. Let's go to band rank, which is, so we need at least 10 fans. We have 35, so we're good there. We know 6 songs is a prerequisite. So we are now rank 2. So just making a little notation here, we have no gigs next month, but we have leveled up to rank 2. So we are now October 1980. We have level 2. We have 35 fans and no gigs allowed for October for next month. We'll get into that in the next episode if you're interested in hearing it again or going into it. Hopefully I can edit this down to be decent. Let's see. The next rank 3, we actually need 50 fans, so we're almost there, and we need to know 12 songs and have a club gig, which is unpaid open mic appearances. I think that is, let me look. Yeah. All right. So we would need to get a 6 result on a rank 1 garage band. Actually, no, we're rank 2 now. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we're doing better now. We would need to roll a 4, 5, or 6. With a rank 1, you need a 6 or higher as opposed to a 4, 5, or 6 at this level. So we'll have a better chance of getting a good gig so we can actually advance maybe to level 3 this next time. So that's cool. All right. And yeah, since we just advanced a level, we get to remove the immaturity rating for each of our band, or remove 1 immaturity rating for each of our band members. So I think immediately I'm going to go to Rivera and remove her 3, 4 there and make her a 4 because I want to get her from 3 to a 4 there. I'm going to remove, I think, yeah, now I'm looking at Leo. So I can remove his management, which I'm not going to bother with. 1, 2, he's not really a manager. His songwriting of 2/3. It's a 2, but it could be a 3. I could remove it to make it a 3. Musicianship, I think I'm going to do that, actually. Let me remove his immaturity from musicianship, so now he's a 3. Let's go to Lohi. He is a management. Again, I'm not worried about that. Songwriting, not worried about that, so his musicianship is definitely going to be fixed. That goes up to a 5. He's easily the best player in our band. D is going to be... Well, I got to get somebody to compliment her. So if I increase her song rating, remove it from her songwriting, rather, to go from 3 to a 4, then I need somebody to have a 3 so I can give her a +1. So I think I'm going to do that. So for D, her songwriting is going to have that removed, so it's going to go to a 4. Rivera, I believe I might do the same thing. Oh, no, I already did for Rivera. That's right. Oh, cried. Oh, well. It is what it is. We'll do songwriting 4 there for D. And then, you know what? That doesn't make much sense, actually. Let me just remove that. Let me change her, D's, I should say, musicianship from 3 to 4. That might be a better thing to do. Songwriting, it's not going to matter. I won't have anybody to compliment her in this case, whereas I will. It's not going to matter. That's what I'm saying. So her songwriting of 3 plus songwriting of 2 for Leo or songwriting of 2 for Rivera, that's going to still be a +1, so it's going to be 4. Whereas if I do remove it and make it a 4, it's not going to get complimented, so it's going to stay a 4. So I might as well just leave it, is what I mean. So Rivera's I did. Shreya is a management. I don't care about. Songwriting, don't care about. Musicianship I do care about, so I'll remove it there and increase that to a 3. Okay, we are all set. Our band is moving forward pretty well. We've created some decent songs. We had some good gigs. We had a real knockout event here with making the neighbors mad and causing the cops to be called on us, and got some notoriety for that. So that's great. We're on our way, I think, to becoming stars here. And so that's where I'm going to end this episode. I appreciate you guys listening. The podcast Solosaurus and the episode here of Solosaurus Plays is, of course, sponsored by the Game Castle. I highly recommend you guys head over there and get your one-time Solosaurus 10% discount off. So go click the link in the description, go check them out, and get some good games. And then I think we're going to do this some more. Actually, I had fun doing this, and I hope you had fun listening to it. So let's do it again sometime. And meanwhile, Solosaurus will get another episode here pretty soon for review. I've got that already in the planning stages, and hopefully can't even talk. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do that this weekend. So thank you very much for listening. Please Give me your feedback if you like this or you hated it. Either way, really, constructive feedback is always welcome. Go to the Facebook page. Let me know, or send an email to solosauruspodcast@gmail.com. Let me know. I really want to know if you like this kind of thing. And if so, I'll keep doing it. So thanks again for listening. We will see you in the next episode.